Okay, how about that time?
I think it was a 10.
Yep.
Ball flight was probably
Yeah,
about a 10.
it's the best one. I mean, if that was your average ball flight all the time, and where'd your hands feel that time?
Up.
Good. Hands are up a little. Sequential takeaway. Chest faces away from the target. Great. Because you notice all those shots that are starting left? They're starting left because you lack depth in your golf swing. You know what I mean by depth? Okay. Depth is this way. Width is towards me. Height is up. Okay. 3 dimensions in space. We swing in 3-dimensional space.
Okay.
So if your swing just goes straight back and up, you're trying to swing in 2-dimensional space. And there's very little depth in the swing.
Okay.
You see? You need a little more depth to balance out what you're doing. Side-on golfers need at least a moderate amount of depth. And you've been actually swinging more in the width and height direction, trying to go straight back and up.
Yeah.
But then what happens is your hands are above where they need to be at the top. They're a little bit high tracking, so then there has to be a reroute or a bump of the hips and all that to get back down. Well, when it drops, there's a tendency that it drops under, and then you can send them way right.
Yeah.
So we need enough depth that you feel like when you're turning during the downswing, it's still coming from the inside instead of from the outside. That make sense?
Yes, sir.
Good. So hands a little bit high. You feel that left hand bowing down a little, or angling down. Good. Sequential takeaway, chest faces me. Yeah, and right now the forward swing is just sort of on go, right?
Yeah.
And we can dial that in a little bit, but we need to get the sense of this setup where you get set up, you bump your hips forward to get into front anchor position. We need to get the hands in position where they're more closer to the torso plane at address. From there, you need a sequential takeaway because that's what works better for you instead of one piece or using just the weight shift, right?
Yes.
And then once the sequential takeaway is initiated, the chest has to turn deep enough to face away from the target or to face the camera here. There we go. That was a lot better. And you'll see when your chest turns deeper, you lift your arms less. When your chest stops turning, you feel like you need to keep getting range of motion, you lift your arms.
Yeah.
But by getting range of motion with a turn, by getting depth, your arms feel like they can stay in the mid-track. Now, you're probably high side of mid-track because everything happens in a matter of degrees.
Okay.
But still, it needs to be in the mid-track.